All right, so you're gearing up for this Wood Fuel Pelletiser interview, huh?
Mm.
Well, we're going to help you absolutely crush it. We're going to do a deep dive into some sample interview questions and unpack how to approach them and what those interviewers are really looking for.
Yeah, we'll also be weaving in some insights from RoleCatcher's career guides along the way.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we'll even show you how their AI can help you tailor your answers for each specific job you're going for.
All right, so let's jump right in.
Let's do it.
First things first, let's set the stage.
Yeah.
Imagine you walk into the interview room and they hit you with this. What inspired you to pursue a career as a wood fuel pelletizer?
Oh, yeah, that's a classic opener.
Right.
And it's your chance to really show some genuine passion right off the bat.
So don't just give like a generic answer about sustainability.
No. Dig deeper.
Yeah.
You know, they want to see if you've thought beyond the surface level.
Yeah, okay. So what are they really looking for with this question?
I think they want to know, like, why this role speaks to you personally. Maybe you're drawn to the ingenuity of turning wood waste into something valuable, or maybe you're fascinated by the machinery and, like, the whole production process.
The hands-on aspect of it.
Exactly, yeah.
So it's about connecting your personal interest to the role.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so what if someone's really motivated by like the hands-on problem-solving nature of the job? How would they frame that in an answer?
Okay, so they could say something like, I've always enjoyed working with my hands and figuring out how things work. The idea of taking raw materials and transforming them into efficient fuel pellets and minimizing waste at the same time really appeals to my problem-solving side.
Okay, that's a great example. It shows they understand the bigger picture, but they're also genuinely excited by the, nitty-gritty aspects of the job.
Yeah, exactly. And here's where RoleCatcher can actually give you an edge.
Oh, tell me more.
Their AI can analyze the specific job description and highlight the skills and keywords that are most important to that employer.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, for example, if the job posting emphasizes technical expertise, maybe you can tweak your answer to showcase your knowledge of the machinery and, like, the pelletizing process itself.
So you're not just giving like a canned response.
Yeah.
You're tailoring it to what they're looking for.
Exactly.
All right, I like it. Okay, let's move on to another common question. How do you ensure quality control during the production process?
Okay. Yeah, this one's a bit more technical.
It is. How should someone approach this?
Yeah, you're right. It is technical, but it's also about showcasing your attention to detail and your understanding of the standards. Quality control is crucial in this field.
Why is that? What are the stakes if the pellets aren't up to par?
Well, inconsistent pellets can affect burn efficiency, lead to equipment malfunctions, and even damage the reputation of the company.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, for sure. So interviewers really want to see that you take quality control seriously.
Okay, so how do we turn that into a killer answer?
Okay, well, first of all, don't just say, I follow procedures. You got to get specific. Talk about the testing methods you're familiar with, like moisture content analysis, pellet durability tests, size and density checks.
So like really specific examples.
Yeah, and explain how you would meticulously document those results and address any deviations from the standards.
So it's about showing them you understand the why behind those procedures, not just blindly following them.
Exactly.
I like it. You can even take it a step further by mentioning how you'd proactively look for ways to improve quality control processes.
Absolutely.
Maybe suggest a new testing method or implement like stricter monitoring protocols.
Yes, show them you're thinking ahead.
Show some initiative.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm guessing safety is another big topic they'll want to explore.
Oh, you bet. Safety's huge.
Yeah.
A typical question might be, describe a time you identified a potential safety hazard and took steps to address it.
Okay, so this feels like one of those tell me about a time questions where they're looking for a specific example.
It is. Yeah, and this is your chance to really show them that you're not just aware of safety protocols, but that you actively apply them and advocate for a safe working environment.
You're living it.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so what kind of scenario would impress them?
Okay, let's say you noticed a worn-out safety guard on a piece of equipment.
Okay.
Don't just mention that you reported it. Walk them through the steps you took.
Be that hero.
Exactly. Did you immediately halt operation of that equipment? Did you alert your supervisor and colleagues?
Okay.
Did you suggest a temporary fix while waiting for a replacement part?
Right, so you're painting a picture of you as someone who takes charge, prioritizes safety, and doesn't just wait for someone else to handle it.
Precisely.
Be proactive.
Yes. And here's another tip from RoleCatcher's interview guide.
Okay.
After you describe your actions, highlight the positive outcome.
Okay.
Maybe you prevented a potential injury or helped implement a new safety protocol that improved the workplace for everyone.
So you're not just saying, I'm a safety-conscious person.
Yeah.
You're showing them the tangible impact of your actions.
Exactly.
I like it. Okay, now let's shift gears a bit and talk about another important aspect of this role.
Okay.
Troubleshooting.
Yes.
I'm intrigued. What kind of troubleshooting challenges might a wood fuel pelletizer face on the job?
Well, think about the equipment involved. Hammer mills, dryers, pellet presses. There are lots of moving parts that can malfunction.
Yeah, true.
So a common interview question might be, describe a time you had to troubleshoot an issue with the pelletizing equipment. How did you approach the problem?
Okay, so this feels like a chance to show off both your technical knowledge and your problem-solving skills.
You got it.
Okay, so choose a specific example. Maybe a time when the hammer mill jammed, the pellets weren't forming properly, or the moisture content of the wood was throwing things off.
Perfect.
Okay, I've got the scenario. What makes a good answer here?
Okay, well, walk them through your thought process.
Okay.
Did you start by visually inspecting the equipment? Did you consult the manuals or schematics?
Right.
Did you use your knowledge of the process to systematically rule out potential causes?
So it's about showing them you have a methodical approach.
Yeah.
You're not just randomly pushing buttons until something works.
Exactly.
Right.
And don't forget to mention the tools and techniques you used: multimeters, pressure gauges, temperature sensors. The more specific you are, the more credible you'll sound.
That makes sense.
Oh.
Okay, so we've walked them through the problem, the steps we took, and the tools we used. What about the resolution?
Right. End by highlighting the successful outcome. Did you identify the root cause and fix the problem? Or did you suggest a temporary workaround while waiting for a replacement part? Did you implement a new procedure to prevent the issue from happening again?
So you're not just fixing problems, you're learning from them and making things better for the future.
Exactly. And this is another area where RoleCatcher's AI can be incredibly valuable.
Oh, yeah?
Their platform lets you practice answering these kinds of technical questions and get personalized feedback based on the specific job that you're applying for.
Yeah. So if the company is known for having cutting-edge equipment, you can really highlight your experience with those specific technologies.
You got it.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Now let's tackle another question that often throws people off. How do you stay up to date with advancements in wood fuel technology?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
So this is where they want to see if you're passionate about the field and committed to continuous learning.
For sure. It's about demonstrating that you're not just content with the status quo. You're actively seeking out new knowledge and ways to improve.
Okay, so how do we show them we're lifelong learners without sounding like we're just name-dropping industry buzzwords?
Right. Well, you can mention specific resources that you rely on.
Okay.
Trade publications like Biomass Magazine, or Pellet Mill Magazine industry conferences like the U.S. Biomass Conference and Expo, or online forums where professionals share insights.
Right, and it's not just about listing them. It's about giving examples of how you've actually applied that knowledge.
For sure. For example, maybe you read an article about a new drying technique that could improve pellet quality, and you suggested implementing it at your previous workplace. Or perhaps you attended a conference where you learned about a new safety protocol that you now incorporate into your daily routine.
So it's about showing them that you're not just passively consuming information, you're actively using it to make a difference.
Exactly.
All right, so this is just a taste of what you might encounter in a wood fuel pelletizer interview.
It is just a start.
But remember, preparation is key.
Yes.
We've covered some of the big ones today, and we'll tackle even more challenging questions and give you even more strategies to ace that interview next time on the deep dive. So stay tuned.
Can't wait. Welcome back to our deep dive into acing that wood fuel pelletizer interview.
All right, round two.
Let's do it. We've covered some common questions, but now it's time to step up our game.
Okay, I'm ready. Bring on the challenge.
All right, so let's imagine you're in the interview and they hit you with this. Tell me about a time you had to train new employees on the pelletizing process. What challenges did you face and how did you overcome them?
Okay, this one's interesting. It's not just about technical knowledge. It's also about leadership and communication skills.
Exactly. They want to see if you can break down complex information, make it digestible.
Right.
Adapt your teaching style to different learners and really make sure that everyone understands those critical safety protocols.
So it's a lot about making sure that information sticks.
Yeah, for sure.
So how do we frame an answer that really highlights those skills?
Okay, we'll start by setting the scene.
Okay.
Maybe you were tasked with training a group of new hires on how to operate the pellet press.
Okay.
Then describe the specific challenges that you faced. Maybe some trainees had prior experience with machinery while others were completely new to the field.
Right, so you're acknowledging the diversity of the group and the need to tailor your approach accordingly.
Yeah, and then walk them through the steps that you took. Did you create like a structured training program with hands-on demonstrations?
Okay.
Did you encourage questions and provide individualized support? Did you use visuals or diagrams to explain, complex concepts?
Right, so it's all about showing them that you're a thoughtful and engaging instructor,
Yeah,
not just someone who's reading from a manual.
exactly.
Okay.
And then don't forget to highlight those positive outcomes.
Okay.
Did the trainees successfully grasp the concepts and demonstrate proficiency in operating the equipment safely and efficiently?
Right, so it's about showcasing your ability to not only train, but to effectively train,
Yes.
leading to tangible results.
Yes, and here's a pro tip from RoleCatcher's Career Guide. Quantify your achievements whenever possible.
Oh, okay, I like this.
So, did you reduce training time by implementing a new method? Did you receive positive feedback from trainees or supervisors about your teaching style?
Right, so instead of just saying, I'm a good trainer, you're giving them concrete evidence to back it up. I like it. Now let's switch gears to a question that can be a bit unnerving. What are your salary expectations?
Ooh, yeah, this one's tricky.
It is. You don't want to undersell yourself, but you also don't want to price yourself out of the running.
For sure. It's a balancing act.
Right.
But remember, the interviewer's asking this question for a reason.
Okay.
They want to see if your expectations align with their budget
Okay.
and if you've done your research on industry standards.
So how do we strike that perfect balance in our response?
Well, first and foremost, you got to do your homework.
Research.
Yes. Research the average salary range for wood fuel pelletizer positions in your area
Okay.
using sites like Glassdoor or salary.com, and take into account your level of experience certifications and the specific responsibilities of the role.
Okay. Research done. Now, how do we actually phrase our answer?
All right, you can say something like, based on my research and experience, I'm targeting a salary range of X to Y.
Okay.
But here's the key. You've got to be prepared to justify your expectations.
Okay, so if you're aiming for the higher end of the range, have specific examples ready to showcase your skills achievements and what makes you a valuable asset to their team.
Exactly.
Okay.
You might say, I've consistently exceeded production targets at my previous role, implemented new safety protocols that reduced accidents, and have extensive experience with troubleshooting complex equipment.
So you're not just throwing out a number.
Yeah.
They're demonstrating your worth.
Exactly. And here's another tip from RoleCatcher. Be open to negotiation.
Okay.
Express flexibility and a willingness to discuss the full compensation package.
Right, so even if the starting salary isn't exactly what you hoped for, there might be other perks that makes a worthwhile opportunity.
For sure. Okay, now let's tackle another question that can catch people off guard. Describe a time you faced a challenging situation at work and how you handled it.
Okay, the classic, tell me about a time you failed question in disguise.
Yeah, basically.
How do we navigate this one without, shooting ourselves in the foot?
Right, well, the key is to choose a situation that ultimately had a positive resolution, even if it didn't go perfectly at first. So think of a time when you encountered a production snag, a disagreement with a colleague, or a tight deadline that put pressure on the team.
Okay, I've got a scenario in mind. What's the best way to structure my response?
Okay, start by briefly describing the situation and the specific challenge you faced. Then focus on the actions that you took to address it. Did you remain calm under pressure? Did you seek input from others? Did you research alternative solutions?
Right, so it's about showcasing your problem-solving skills, your resilience, and your ability to collaborate effectively even when things get tough.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to acknowledge any mistakes that you made along the way.
Okay.
What matters is that you learn from them and take steps to improve.
Right, so maybe you initially misdiagnosed a problem with the pellet press,
Right?
but after consulting the manuals and collaborating with a colleague, you were able to identify the root cause and implement a fix.
Perfect. That's a great example. You're showing them you're not afraid to own up to mistakes,
Right.
that you're resourceful, and that you're a team player.
And RoleCatcher can help us practice answering these behavioral questions too.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Their AI can analyze your responses and provide feedback on your tone, clarity, and how well you're conveying your skills and experience.
So it's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket.
Exactly. Now let's shift gears to a question that's often asked toward the end of the interview.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for us?
All right, so this is where we get to turn the tables and show them we've been actively listening
Yeah.
and that we're genuinely interested in the opportunity.
Exactly. It's your chance to gather valuable information about the company culture, career growth opportunities, and the specific challenges and rewards of the role.
So it's not just like a formality.
No.
It's a chance to really dig in.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so what kind of questions would really impress them?
Well, you want to avoid asking questions that could easily be answered with a quick Google search.
Right.
Instead, focus on topics that demonstrate your thoughtfulness and insight.
So, for example, you could ask about the company's commitment to sustainability
Yes,
or their plans for expanding their production capacity.
those are great examples.
Okay.
You could also ask about opportunities for professional development or what they see as the biggest challenges and rewards of working as a wood fuel pelletizer at their company.
Right. And it's always a good idea to tie your questions back to something the interviewer mentioned earlier in the conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
It shows that you've been paying attention.
Yes. Now, we covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
But remember, the most important thing is to be yourself. Showcase your passion and demonstrate that you're the best candidate for the job.
Absolutely. We've equipped you with some powerful strategies and insights. And in the next part, we'll wrap things up with some final tips to boost your confidence and help you truly shine in that interview. So stay tuned. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've covered so much prepping for your Wood Fuel Pelletiser interview. We've tackled those tough questions, dug into the technical stuff, and even looked at how RoleCatcher's AI can give you that personalized edge. But now it's time to shift gears and focus on you.
Yeah, we've given you the tools and the knowledge, but that secret sauce to really nailing this interview is showcasing your unique strengths and personality.
Because at the end of the day, they're not just hiring a set of skills. They're hiring a person.
Exactly. They want someone who's not only competent, but also a good fit for their team culture, someone who's passionate, enthusiastic, and genuinely excited about the work.
Okay, so how do we tap into that and let our personality shine through, especially when we're trying to remember all these interview tips?
Well, I think it starts with remembering why you're drawn to this field in the first place.
Yeah.
What excites you about wood fuel pelletizing?
Yeah.
Is it the sustainability aspect, the hands-on work, the problem-solving challenges?
No, all great starting points.
Yeah, because when you're genuinely passionate about something,
Shows.
it shows. And that enthusiasm is contagious.
Wow.
It can make the difference between a good interview and a great one. Think back to that first question we discussed. What inspired you to pursue this career?
Right, that one's all about showcasing your passion.
Exactly. Instead of just giving a textbook definition, let your personality shine through. Tell a story. Maybe you grew up surrounded by forests and saw firsthand the potential of using wood waste.
Yeah.
Or perhaps you've always been fascinated by the process of transforming raw materials into something useful.
I love it. Those are great examples.
Yeah, and they make you memorable. And you can apply that same storytelling approach to other questions, too. For example, when they ask about your experience with specific equipment,
Yeah.
don't just rattle off a list of machines you've used.
Right. Talk about a specific project where you had to troubleshoot a problem or optimize a process.
Right.
Walk them through your thought process, the challenges you faced, and how you overcame them.
Yeah, so you're painting a picture of yourself as a problem solver, someone who's not afraid to get their hands dirty and figure things out.
Exactly. Now, aside from showcasing your personality, there are a few other things you can do to really nail this interview. Remember that research we talked about?
Yes, going beyond just knowing the basics about the company.
Right. Take it a step further and think about how your skills and experience align with their specific needs and goals.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're a company that's really focused on innovation or sustainability.
So you can tailor your answers to highlight those aspects of your background.
Precisely. Show them you've done your homework and that you're not just looking for any job, you're looking for this job.
Okay, research is key. What else should we be doing in those final days before the interview?
Practice, practice, practice.
Okay.
And I don't just mean mentally rehearsing your answers.
You mean actually saying them out loud? Yes. It might feel awkward at first, but trust me, it makes a huge difference. You'll catch any awkward phrasing. Identify areas where you stumble and start to feel more comfortable and confident expressing yourself.
Right. And this is where RoleCatcher can be a game changer.
Absolutely. Their AI can provide personalized feedback on your answers, pointing out areas for improvement and suggesting ways to make your responses even stronger.
It's like having a personal interview coach right in your pocket.
Exactly. And remember, the more you practice, the more natural and confident you'll feel on the big day. Now, before we wrap things up, let's touch on one final crucial point. mindset.
Okay, what's the ideal mindset going into a job interview?
Go in there with confidence, but also with a sense of curiosity. Remember, this is a two-way street.
Right.
It's not just about them evaluating you, it's also about you evaluating them.
So ask thoughtful questions.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to dig deeper into the company culture, the team dynamics, and the specific challenges and opportunities of the role.
Right. And remember, you've got this. You've put in the work, you've honed your skills, and you're passionate about this field. Let that shine through, and you'll be well on your way to landing that dream job.
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive, and best of luck with that interview.